2 minutes to the gentleman from Tennessee, a distinguished member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Mr. Cohen.
The gentleman is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. The other day, a young man lived in my neighborhood came over and he asked me to try to teach him how to drive a car. And I told him, son, it's real easy to drive a car. It's just kind of like these budget proposals you'll see in Congress. If you want to go forward and do things down the road, you put the car in D like Democrat for drive, and your car will go forward. But if you want to go backwards and go reverse back to the 50s, you put it in R like a Republican. And he learned quick, and that's what these budgets are about. If you want to go forward, you go with the Democratic budget. Forward on building highways, school construction, broadband extension, research on the deadly disease killing each and every one of us and our children at the time to come, research the National Institutes of Health that are cut by this budget. There's nothing more important that can be in this budget than monies for the National Institutes of Health, and yet they're being cut. Cancer, Alzheimer's, AIDS, stroke, diabetes, all going to come at us and our relatives. And some will say, and I said this one time before, and Mr. Kingston on the other side said, well, our children and our grandchildren have to pay for it. Who do you think is going to get the cures and the treatments? Our children and our grandchildren and generations to come. And they cut research. They cut opportunities for America. And you talk about taxes and the debt. The Republican plan gives billionaires the biggest cuts in history, over $50 billion with estate tax elimination for people like the Koch brothers and the Waltons and all those folks, and that money will never come back. The alternative minimum taxes is eliminated. That's the only thing that made clear that President Trump paid any taxes and the only tax return we know about. If it weren't for that, he wouldn't have paid anything. So we're talking multi-million and billion-dollar tax cuts for the richest that create deficits in the future, but that's okay when it's given money to those who already have it. Franklin Roosevelt was right. You judge a society not by what it does for those who have an abundance, but you judge it by what it does for those who have the least. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlelady from Tennessee.